We have in today's first reading an attempt amongst the people to have kings, something that was not looked at and appreciated amongst the Israelites. The establishment of a monarchy itself was looked at. People thought only God was their king, and therefore to have any other king was to go against the law that the Lord had given their ancestors. In today's first reading, we have a story that is cryptic. There is Abimelech, who through hook and crook ends up reigning over the people as their king. And yet he has shed blood. He has killed his rivalries. And Jotham somehow manages to escape. And you can picture this scene when all those who have connived with Abimelech gather for his inauguration, and Jotham is at the top of the mountain, and he shouts to the crowd, and for a moment they pause and listen to him. What does he do? He tells a story. Some trees in the forest at one time decided to have a king, and they turned to the different trees that were known for their fruit, that they be leaders. And those trees refused. When they turned to the bramble, the useless tree as it were, it accepted. And that's a message directed exactly and directly to Abimelech. And yet what does Jotham say? The bramble says, if you accept me as your king, come and have shade under me. And as the other trees gather under the bramble, which has no shade anyway, a fire ensues from the bramble and it burns the other trees. And Jotham has made his message. The king you have chosen will work for your destruction. The king you have chosen is not one who will favor or pursue the agenda of the people. He is power hungry. He will mistreat you. He will be your case. I don't know what you make of that story, and yet the message is simple. At times we exercise choices and we choose leaders. And what kind of leaders are they? In the gospel, we read about the generosity of God. That should not be a cause of envy and jealousy. But God, who is generous, rewards people from his generosity. My dear brothers and sisters in Christ, in the early church, when people read this parable, they interpreted it as though Jesus was addressing the issue with his disciples. The John come late into religion. They too were accepted with equality and equity by God. They were not to be looked down upon. Later on, the early church, reflecting on the same parable, they thought of it as speaking about those who had embraced Christianity from Judaism and the Gentiles. The Gentiles were not to be looked down upon. In our modern times, we can look at those groups that are on the periphery, that are sidelined for one reason or the other. And the message is they are not to be looked down upon. They too are the chosen ones of God. Two beautiful readings. One is a riddle that drives the point. The other is a parable. And they all serve to communicate God's message. Before God, we are all equal.